This is lesson 13, multiplication and division, one-step equations. Definition of a coefficient is the number next to the variable. Okay, division property of equality. The division property of equality states that two sides of an equation remain equal when you divide each side by the same non-zero number. So our first equation is 20 equals 4x. So we have 20 equals 4x. So in this case, what we want is we want the number next to x to be 1. So we are looking for dividing or to undo and have the inverse operation of 4. So we want to divide. So in this case, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So if we divide both sides by 4, these cancel and become 1, or x equals, on the left-hand side, again, we do the math. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. So now to check, again, we always rewrite. So 20 equals 4x. So we rewrite. 2, we replace our letter with the number that we are checking to see if it's our answer. So here we got 4 times 5. And again, use parentheses, nothing else. And 3, we are going to do the math. So 4 times 5 is 20, which equals 20. Okay? So our next question, we have negative 8y equals 24. So we have negative 8y equals 24. And again, ladies and gentlemen, use your calculators. So here we have negative 8. So the inverse then would be to divide negative 8. Or sorry, to divide. Let me get my eraser here. Where'd it go? There it is. Both sides by negative 8. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 8. Okay. So here, our coefficient now is 1, or just y. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. Make sure you use your calculators. So now we have to rewrite. So negative 8y equals 24. And then we have negative 8 times negative 3 equals 24. And 24 equals 24. Okay. Next, we have our multiplication property of equality, which states that two sides of an equation remain equal if you multiply each side by the same number. In this case, we have our solve and check is a over 4 equals 8. So in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to multiply both sides by 4, because the inverse operation would be to multiply, because here we are dividing, so the inverse would be to multiply. So I'm going to use parentheses to multiply both sides by 4. So these would cancel, and we are left with 1a, or a. And on the other side, again, we do the math. 8 times 4 is 32. So we're saying our a equals 32. So to check our work, we have a divided by 4 equals 8. To replace our a with 32, divided by a equals 8. And our calculators, 32 divided by 4, not a. So 32 divided by 4, and then 8 is what we are looking for, equals 8, and it checks. Our next one would be m divided by -3 equals -9. So we're going to multiply both sides by -3. So here we have -3 and -3. These cancel, so we have m equals 27. So to check our work, we have m divided by -3 equals -9. So we have 27 divided by -3 equals -9. So we have -9 equals -9. So our next question, we have Serena mailed 138 letters during the last 6 days. Write and solve an equation to find, on average, how many letters she mailed each day. So here we would have, x divided by 6. Sorry, 6x equals 138. So here we would have 6x is 138. So here we are going to divide both sides by 6. So x is going to equal 23. So on average, she mailed 23 each day. So we have 6x equals 138. We divide both sides by 6. Oh, sorry, we're trying to solve this thing. I apologize, guys. Let me redo this. So we are checking this, Mrs. Smythe. So 6x equals 138. So 6 times 23 equals 138. So 138 equals 138. And that checks. Yay! All right. And last, we have a couple things here. We have decimal coefficients. So we have 16 equals 0.25n. So we are going to divide both sides by 0.25. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.25. So we have n equals, I'm going to need my calculator for this one. 16 divided by 0.25, and we got 64. So again, to check our work, We have 16 equals 0.25 n. 16 equals 0.25 times 64. So let's multiply that. 64 multiplied by 0.25 equals, and that is 16, and that is what we are looking for. And it checks. Okay. Next, we have 6.4 equals 0.8 m. So here we have 0.808, 0.8. So we are going to divide both sides by 0.8. So now that we are going to divide by that. Again, use your calculators. Okay, nothing wrong with using your calculator. Our answer is 8. Okay, now when we check, we've got 6.4 equals 0.8 m. We will replace and then let's do the math. Let's see if it equals. We've got 8 multiplied by 0.8 and we have 6.4. And is that what we were looking for? The answer is yes. Now here when we have fraction coefficients, we have something a little bit different. We have 1/2 x equals 12. Here, because they are fractions, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to multiply by the reciprocal. To get our answer. Okay, so here I've got 2 over 1, and here I have 2 over 1. These cancel out because they become 1 as the coefficient. And here I've got 12 times 2 over 1, which is 24. And this is how we want you to solve it because in 8th grade, that is how you are going to be solving it. So here to check it, we've got 1/2 x equals 12. And here, 1/2 times 24 equals 12. And again, use your calculators. So 1/2 multiplied by 24 equals, and we get 12. So 12 equals 12. In our final question, we have, oops, sorry, we have, let me move my hand and my calculator so we know what we're doing here. We have 2/5 y equals 16. So we're going to multiply both sides by 5 over 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 over 2. Those cancel. We have y. And here again in your calculators, we have 16 multiplied by 5 over 2. And we got, our answer is 40. So now to check our work, we have 2/5 y equals 16. So 2/5, sorry guys, sorry, times 40 equals 16. So now let's put that in our calculators. Okay, we have 2/5 multiplied by 40. Let's see what that equals. That does equal 16. And our answer checks. And that ends our lesson.